family of 8 kids in my family, and my father was a machinist. He worked at Alcoa Aluminum in Messina, New York. I grew up in northern New York, and he went back to school after many years as a machinist to get certified as a teacher, and he ended his career actually teaching in BOCES, teaching machine trades. Education was just always important to my family. Out of the 8 kids in my family, 5 of us are in education, are teachers. And so it was just always something that we valued. We always valued education. My parents didn't say a lot to any of us kids about what we needed to do in school. It was, that was your job. So there was that kind of unspoken pressure that school is important to do. So I've just always had the value for education. And it followed through when I went to college and decided I wanted to teach. And then got my first job as a math teacher out of, I went to Potsdam, and when I got out of Potsdam, it was just, I brought the same, I think, value of education to my classroom that had been, inculcated in me throughout my life. I don't think any of us, I'll speak for myself, but also for a lot of the teachers, mind being evaluated at all. I mean, we're evaluated on an annual basis. I get evaluated every year by my supervisor, who is the superintendent, and he has high standards. Our teachers get evaluated every year by myself or one of the hall principals or a department supervisor, and we have the same high standards. So it's not a problem about evaluation. It's the way that this well-intentioned legislation is playing out practically. And what's so unfair is that a teacher's effectiveness will be viewed by the community as a number out of 100. And I think the natural inclination is to think that a teacher who has a score of 87 is a stronger teacher than one who has a score of 79. And that is not necessarily true at all. There's so much that goes into those ratings, and then there's so much else that a teacher does that doesn't get counted in those ratings. So I think it's going to set up a very unfair perspective of the value, the effectiveness of teachers and building principals, because I get a rating as well. I would stand behind anything we do here, what the teachers do here. I have no problem with that. But just on the vagaries of this evaluation system, it doesn't tell the whole story. And I think a lot of our community will be well informed about that, but there will be a good segment of our community that isn't. And across the state, there will be a good segment that is not. They'll just look at a number and attach a significance or meaning to that number, which may be very inaccurate. I think one way that I play out my role is that I'm in the same boat. Again, I get evaluated as well. I will have a score attached to me at the end of this year. So I know what teachers are seeing. I feel it. I can empathize sincerely with them. The message I give to teachers: I know the job you do. I know the work you put into it. I know the time you put in. I know what you do outside of the classroom that's not even part of that score. You keep doing what you need to do, and you'll be fine. I'm very confident our scores will be very comparable with any district in the area. I'm not worried about that. But it's just that, do your job and you'll be fine. And we'll be fine as a school. We'll be fine as a district. And I think that's what I preach, and I think that's what I practice. I think they've been very understandable. Initially, at first, there was confusion because some of the directives that have come out of the State Ed Department have changed. And it's part of a lot that's happening with the transition to the Common Core, which takes a lot of time, and then with the APPR on top of that. It's just a lot happening. And with the APPR comes a new evaluation system within our district as well, so that's new to everybody. So I think there was a little bit of concern at first, a little bit of confusion, a little bit of frustration, but by now I think people have sorted out well. Okay, this means that, and this means that, and I think they're in a very good place. We're getting there. We're doing the right things, and then once you start school, it comes down to you're teaching in your classroom. So do what you have to do, and that consumes most of their time. They're back to teaching kids. I think we're very upfront with kids about bullying, what is bullying, what isn't bullying, and harassment, and what you can do if you feel you're being bullied or harassed. We take them all seriously. We've had a stand-up committee in place. It's chaired by Tracy Henry and Stacy Angel. It started last year and it is continuing full tilt that really implements many programs over the course of the year to highlight this is bullying, here's what you do about it. We have safe havens in our building of teachers who have volunteered to put their name on a door saying, even if you don't know me, you need a safe place, you want to talk, come and talk to me. We have a huge kickoff day coming up on October 30th, organized by our stand-up committee. We're going to show the movie Pay It Forward to everyone at the same time in the morning. It's also Wear Black Day. We have color days throughout the year, and it's Wear Black to black out bullying. And we're also doing Mix It Up Day at lunch, where when kids enter the lunchroom, they'll be given a colored lollipop, and they sit with other kids who have the same colored lollipop. It's just to have them sit with other kids and see that even kids you don't know, you have stuff in common with them. We just are finishing up our training for our peer mediation program, which is well advertised. Kids have conflict. Here's a peaceful way to resolve a conflict, and they'll learn skills that can benefit them throughout life. And we train kids to do the peer mediation with an adult sitting in. The legislation, we have the incident report forms that kids can do anonymously if they want. We're making it very easy, I think, for kids to step up and say, something's happening that's making me uncomfortable, I need some help. And so I think we're saying you're not alone, it happens, step up. Kids are receiving a consistent, unified message, and we as a staff believe what we're doing. We believe in what we're doing. It's not something we're saying, oh, we got to do this, so let's get it done. I mean, we believe in this or we wouldn't be doing the activities. It makes you feel good. I think the changes that necessarily have to happen when kids move from elementary school to a secondary building like our junior high school here involve dealing with a changed structure and realizing that they can handle the many different demands and organizational skills, which I think is one of the biggest things we work on with this age level. Organization isn't something that comes naturally to any of us. We have to learn our systems. I have my desk calendar, and I refer to it all the time. And when kids need their desk calendar, and they have planners. So I think organizing themselves and realizing that if I'm organized and I have an organized plan to address what I'm being faced with, I can do it. A second piece is realizing that they start seeing who they are as people. And I think with all the opportunities we have here for kids, and as I said before, starting to find out what they like, where their interests lie, where their strengths lie, there's even more when they get to the high school. With the courses that they can take, they have relatively few electives here. Most kids don't have electives. Yet once you get to the high school, beyond their freshman year, they can start looking at electives. So I think they're starting to develop in themselves here what they feel strong at and what they begin thinking, I may want to pursue that. So when they get to the high school, they know they can organize themselves and address things, and they start knowing the direction they want to move in. And it may not be a concrete direction, but they start having an idea. Nervous when they come in here as 6th to 7th graders. They're nervous when they get ready to go to 9th grade, but they're ready. They are ready to move on, and I think they know that. Other than the nervousness, a couple days at high school, they're into it. So I think those are the big things that, certainly the academic preparation is there. They are prepared academically, but in terms of their personal preparation, I think that's how they're best served by what we offer here.